Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee, and I'm going to be hosting this Look Good, Feel Better Facebook Live today in association with Farmers for Feel Better Month. I've got a lovely model here with me today, Rosie, and we're going to take you through a natural makeup look. So this natural makeup look is very similar to what we would have if you attend one of our in-person or online classes with Look Good, Feel Better. It's meant to be accessible. It's a natural look, so something relatively easy for you to put together. And for anyone who's joining us live, I hope you're ready and you've got some makeup products at hand that you can use. And maybe you can follow along while I start talking you through the step-by-step. So at Farmers nationwide, for participating brands for the month of July, so it's already started, when you buy a product, maybe a lipstick, it could be a skincare or a sun care item, $1 from those participating brands will be donated to Look Good, Feel Better, and that will be matched by Farmers dollar for dollar. So it's really fantastic. It's a great initiative. We're really grateful. And these funds will go towards us being able to hold more skincare and makeup workshops, our podcasts, mindfulness classes, and all the things that Look Good, Feel Better offers for people who are undergoing cancer treatment at any time. So thank you so much to participating brands and Farmers for this. So we're going to make a start, and we're going to start with a makeup base. Now, every product that we're using today is from a participating brand, and we're going to start with Clarins Beauty Flash Balm. So this product has been around for a long time. It is a favorite. It does actually really give the skin a nice glow. So it is a lovely base product to use. It's hydrating, and it is just a really nice product to use under foundation. So I'm just going to start by getting Rosie's hair sort of off her face a little. Got a couple of clips to do that. But I don't want to ruin your nice hair, Rosie, so I'm just going to get this out the way. And in terms of the quantity for the Beauty Flash Balm, so we're going to use a large pea size amount. And you can apply this product with hands. I do find sometimes skin-to-skin blending for those pre-makeup products or foundations can be a really good way to go, especially if you don't have many tools, and not everyone has tools. But I'm going to use a sort of foundation brush today. We're going to put this product all over the face. But I did just want to mention, for those that do have a fringe, and also if your skin tone is really nice and even on your forehead, you actually don't need to use a lot of products on your forehead if you are going to cover that with a fringe. So do save your money on products, and also save your hair. Rosie and I were talking a little bit about how if you've got a fringe, it does tend to get oilier. So don't put a lot of products under your fringe before you blow wave it in the front or style your hair. So just finish putting the Beauty Flash Balm on. And you can actually see Rosie's skin start to glow already. So it looks beautiful. And next up, we're going to go in with a foundation. So I've got a really nice MAC product to use today. And this is Studio Sculpt, so it's an SPF 15. This is a current product. In terms of foundation matching, we do always talk about this when we're holding a Look Good, Feel Better class. So I do really recommend that you go somewhere like Farmers and get your foundation matched for your skin type. It is also important to note, if you've been using something for a long time, sometimes as we age or just with conditions or different weather, our skin texture can change. So it is important to check that the foundation that we're using is still the right one for us. So this is a really lovely dewy finish, and that is my preference with foundation, to have a natural look and to have a dewy finish. So also, I'm just going to show you, Rosie, can you turn your face a little? I'm just going to show you where I've put a little bit of the foundation on Rosie's face, and we did color match this earlier, but you can see that I've just put a little bit of foundation down the side of Rosie's face, and you can barely see where it starts and finishes. Now, I haven't blended this yet, so that means that this color is a really good color for Rosie. A lot of people in the past might have thought that you try your foundation on your hand, but that's actually not the case. Our hands might have more sun exposure, they may have more sunspots. Our hands generally aren't the same texture as our face. So it is really important when you're buying a foundation or choosing a foundation product to choose something that has been tried on your face. So I do encourage you to do that. And in terms of application, another tip is that you can just use foundation where you really need it. So think less is more with makeup. So you don't need to go in. Again, we're not going to put a heavy makeup on Rosie's forehead where she is going to have her fringe there, but we will make sure it's blended and that she's got good coverage. I also trained as a makeup artist, but it was many years ago. And one of the things that I learned is that we shouldn't be able to see where makeup starts and stops. So ideally what that means is you might have seen in the past people walking around with that foundation line under the chin. So we don't want to see that. We want to make sure we blend really well under the chin. Also around the eye area. So can you just close, Rosie? I am going to use just a little bit of this product on Rosie's eyelid, and this is going to give us just a base for the eyeshadow to stick to. And when you're using a brush like I'm using, it does make it easier to do this. I'm going to come around your other side and just apply on the other side. But also when you are working on the eyes, that they can get a little bit red. So around the eye can be a little bit red. So it's just good to even out the skin tone. That's kind of what we want to do with foundation. And I'm just going to get a little bit more of that product. Okay. It's a nice foundation. How does it feel on your skin, Rosie?
Feels good.
Yeah. And just now that we're going to go in around the forehead, so I'm just going to put a little bit of foundation. And I'm just going to do your eyelid again. Do just a little bit of foundation to even up the skin tone on the eyelid. And then we just need to do a little bit more blending. Just making sure there's no obvious signs of the makeup starting or stopping, so it's all nicely blended. And then make sure under the chin. And I'm just going to focus on the area when Rosie's hair is down where we will be able to see. So we're not going to put a lot of foundation up here because Rosie doesn't actually need it there. And she's got lovely even skin tone up there as well. So I think that's looking good. So nice and even. So you can open your eyes, Rosie. Yeah, that feels nice and dewy, comfortable.
It feels good.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to move on to the eyebrows. And Rosie and I were talking before we started, and Rosie has actually had her eyebrows microbladed, which you might have heard of before. So that is very fine tattooing. It's semi-permanent tattooing, and it can, for anyone who's suffered from hair loss when they're undergoing cancer treatment, this can be a good tool. I do know that usually it's recommended once your treatment has finished, or before your treatment has started, which I've experienced and chatted to quite a few ladies who have had that done before. They can then really follow your natural eyebrow, and what it does is they draw tiny little lines that then fill in your natural eyebrow, and then it also means you don't need to do a lot of grooming. So Rosie does already have a very full eyebrow, but we are going to go through, and I'm just going to show you what I would do normally anyway. And I always like to say when I'm teaching people about eyebrows, if you look at any celebrity in a magazine or maybe online who's got a full makeup, they will always have a really nicely groomed brow. So that is something that's always part of a makeup look. And I think it's something easily forgotten, eyebrows. They do frame the face. And I remember a lady who I used to work with, and she one of her sayings was, eyebrows are sisters. They're not identical twins. So they're similar, but they're not the same. And it doesn't matter if you're undergoing cancer treatment or not. Everyone has a good eyebrow and a not so good eyebrow. So hopefully you can relate. Have you got a good eyebrow and a not so good? Or yours are pretty even?
It's probably the microblading.
I know I've got a naughty eyebrow for sure.
Generation.
We overplucked in the 90s, 100%. So I'm actually going to use a new, well, relatively new Shiseido eyebrow product, and Shiseido is one of our participating brands. So I discovered this in Farmers last weekend, and I really like this product because firstly, it's got a nice, it's chalky enough eyebrow pencil so that you can get the little lines, but then it's also got this really fun powder tip as well. And on the end, we've got our brush for blending. So I'm just going to show you how that works. I'll do one eyebrow first, and then you hopefully will be able to see a little bit of difference between the two. So what we want to do with brows is to further define, to fill in any gaps, and just to have a groomed look. I'm just using the pencil to make small brush-like strokes. And if you are using a pencil, just think about what it would be to draw almost like fine hairs on your skin. It's kind of what we're going for. And then I'm just going to initially use the brush just to flick any foundation out that we've had in there. Rosie doesn't actually need a lot of powder, but if you had more gaps after you've drawn the lines, you could use the powder part now, which is in the middle. And I've actually got one more fun product that I wanted to experiment with and show you today. So that's one side. I'm going to complete one whole eyebrow, then I'll get Rosie to look dead on the camera and you can see if you can notice the difference. So I've got this Rimmel product here, and this is an eyebrow wax. So there's a trend at the moment of having eyebrows laminated. So they look, what lamination does is it helps to maximize the brows that you have by sort of positioning them in a way that your eyebrows look more full. So it is quite a cool product, and I found this one in Farmers just last weekend. So it's a clean brow wax, and it kind of looks like a clear gel. So what I've got is I've got a clean mascara wand, and I'm just going to lightly roll it in the brow wax. Actually just going to take a little bit off so we don't put too much in Rosie's brow. And then I'm just going to run this gently over the groomed brow. And this is actually going to help the brow to set and stay. And we can have a play with just lifting the brow hairs up slightly, which is what you would expect to see from a laminated brow. So if you are experiencing hair loss in your eyebrows, you might find this technique quite helpful, because what you can do is you can move around the eyebrow hairs that you have to make the brow appear more full. So I quite like this product, and it was a really reasonable price as well, and that is available at Farmers, so that's a Rimmel. So Rosie, can you just look straight on at the camera, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of a close-up. And just see if you can see a difference between the grooming of those two. And because Rosie's got really nice full eyebrows, it's not as easy as it would be with somebody who had more gaps or maybe not as full eyebrows. But that just gives you an idea. So I'll go in and even you up now, Rosie.
Thank you.
Would you mind turning your body this way? And then I'm going to do this side. Oh, so I can really see the difference when you're face on, which is great. So first, again, we've got the three-phase product. I'm going in with the pencil first. And I'm just filling in, just so that we've got a little bit more shading in behind the hairs. This is with the pencil. I think this pencil came in 2 shades. This is the taupe, number 2. I think there was a 1 and a 2. And then we're going to unscrew the center again and pull in the powder, which is like a dark brown sort of color. And then on the end, other end, we've got the brush. So we're going to give the brows a little groom, which looks really nice. Okay, and then in with the wax. So it might seem fussy, but it doesn't take that long, and eyebrows can really make a big difference to the overall makeup look. So it is worth doing, especially if you've got a special occasion. But I see brows as an essential part of a daily makeup look. Do you do daily grooming, Rosie?
I don't do, I normally just wear like a tinted sunscreen.
Yes.
With my eyebrows done, it makes it a bit easier.
Yes. So do you use any products in your brows during the day or no? No. I find for a single product, a brow gel, coloured brow gel you can get, and that can be really nice too. You can get they have little individual hairs, and that can help set the brows too. Just giving it that groomed look. Okay, lovely. So you can turn around again. So we're going to prepare for the next stage of the makeup, and we're going to go in for the eyeshadows now. And I'm actually going to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to start with this Long Wear Cream Liner Stick from Bobbi Brown. And this is in Rich Chocolate. It's a really lovely, sort of like a chubby eyeliner, I guess you'd say. So it's a self-sharpening. And what I'm going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of eyeliner on the top, and then we're going to blend some eyeshadow into it to create more of a sort of soft, natural makeup look. Actually, I'm just going to, some of that foundation settled on your eye, so I'm just going to get you to close, blend that first. Great. So what we're going to do with this product is just go lightly along the lash line, and this, if you were using an eyeliner, it would be a lot thinner. So it is a little bit thicker, and it does set. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in with a brush straight away, and I'm just going to gently soften this line. So this is sort of a simple two-step eyeshadow or eye makeup technique. Just give that a little blend. So again, just like the tip that I had earlier about a makeup look not having a start and a finish. So I really want you to think about that when you're working with any product, including eyeshadows and eyeliners, unless you're doing like a really defined Amy Winehouse black flick, something like that. Obviously, that's going to have a start and a finish. But if we're doing more of a natural makeup, just have a think about how you can soften things, blend things, and for it to look really like worn in and natural. Okay, so now I've got a nice Shiseido eye palette, and we're going to go in with this sort of warm champagne-y colour. And I'm just going to go over the top of where we've put this chubby chocolate brown eye stick. And I'm just going to blend. So I would say this is my 1 or 2 minute eyeshadow look. We're going to keep it really simple. We're using just 2 products, eyeliner, and again, so I'm sort of blending that definition from the eyeliner, and then I'm adding this eyeshadow, which is a nice sort of neutral color, so it's nice for a natural look. And I'm blending it into the skin, so also you can't see where it starts and stops. Rosie, would you mind tilting your chin this way just a little bit and then close down? So ideally we don't want to see where the eyeshadow starts and stops too. I think something that I often like to tell people is if you've got a new eyeshadow or a new eye product that you've just purchased and perhaps you're not very comfortable with applying makeup, just don't put it on 5 or 10 minutes before you're meant to be out the door at a wedding or a really important event, because that's when disaster can strike. And there's no such thing as a bad makeup, it's just unfinished. So keep that in mind, allow yourself lots of time if you're going to watch this back later and give it a practice. Allow yourself a lot of time if you're going out just to practice, have cotton buds handy, have tissues handy, and just know that your makeup's just unfinished, it's not broken, there's nothing that you can't fix with some cotton buds, some eye makeup remover, some micellar water. Okay, so that's looking nice. So Rosie, if you don't mind turning this way again, I'm going to do your other eye. And just close down. So you might be able to see better on this side. First, we're just going along the eyelash line with the chubby eyeliner stick. And then I'm going to go in quite quickly because it is a long wear and it is going to set. And I'm just blending it. Also to note, if you're not confident with putting darker colours on your eye, just remember that you can always blend it. And even the way that Rosie's sitting, so if I'd come around the other side, it might have been easier. But when I just drew that line, it wasn't perfect. So it's just good to remember, even someone that's practiced it lots and lots of times, I'm not going to get it perfect every time. So it is worth practicing and it is worth trying new things. And then we're going to come in with the champagne, sort of peachy colour. And we're blending over where I've blended the eyeliner. And just through so that we can't see again where it starts and stops. And that's looking really nice. Is that something you think you could do at home, Rosie? Yeah, relatively easy, hey? And then I am going to go in underneath. So we've got a really gorgeous dark khaki colour here. And although it is a natural makeup look, so completely up to you, but I am just going to do a little bit of definition under Rosie's eye. So right into the eyelash line. Sorry, Rosie. Just with this dark khaki. And then I'm going to do the other side. We'll get this going. So that's just to define a little bit in the corner. And then I'm just going to soften that with this champagne colour. Okay. So again, sort of using more than one. You don't have to do this. This is just a bonus. Just helps to blend. Okay, and do you want to face on straight again? And we'll just have a little look at how that's progressing. So I think that's looking good. So we're going to go in with a mascara, and I've got the Maybelline Sky High mascara to use today. So mascara, we always talk through a couple of mascara tips that look good, feel better. And one is don't pump your mascara. Do you know this one, Rosie?
Yeah.
So when we pump our mascara, in fact, I had to stop my daughter from doing it the other day because I could just see she was desperate to do it. We actually pump air into the mascara, so that can dry it out really quickly, so you don't want to do that. Also, if you're going through treatment for cancer, it's really important to keep your mascara fresh. So as you know, when we apply mascara, we go from one eye to the other eye, and that can transfer bacteria. So really about 3 months is how long you should keep your mascara, and then replace it with a new one. So really good idea to replace that and keep it fresh. So don't keep your mascara for a long time. I think my sister came over one time before an event, and I did her makeup, and she pulled out her makeup bag and she had a mascara I think I'd given to her 3 years earlier. So I said to her, that's got to go. And it was so dry and ineffective. So just remember, fresh new makeup, it works really well. So pop down to Farmers and get yourself some Maybelline Sky High. Okay, so Rosie, I'm going to get you to look down. So when I apply mascara myself, I generally just take my time. You will pick up more lashes when you take more time. When I apply on other people, I often like to go top down. And what we're doing by doing this is really just coating every lash. It's not something you need to do on yourself. So we'll just go from the top. And this brush is actually really fabulous. It's one of those sort of wands that has just tiny little spikes, so it's actually picking up even the smallest lash. And I love, sometimes the mascara brushes have these big fat wands which do often make the lashes really thick, but this one looks like it's going to nicely pick up without clumping. So it's actually really, really good. It is good to switch brands too, I find. Do you find that, Rosie? You've got to give everyone a go. And just as new technology comes, it's good to try different things. But that is a nice, it's also a little bit flexible, the brush. Excuse me, so coming on the side.
I really like tubing mascara.
Oh, me too, for the length.
And it doesn't fall under my eyes.
Ah, yes. And then when that comes off, you know, like, does that just come off in the shower?
Yeah.
Yes. And it feels like you're molting. But actually that does pick up what lashes you have, and it maximizes the lashes that you have. So the tubing that Rosie's talking about is actually little micro, tiny little hairs, synthetic. I believe that they're synthetic, that are into the mascara. And what it does is it helps to add length. So it almost just, it adds on. It's like scaffolding onto your eyelashes. So that's quite a good one if you haven't tried. Okay, and I'm not a big fan of lower lash mascara. What about you, Rosie? You are?
Normally it ends up under my eyes.
Yes.
I look like a panda.
Yes, so if anyone has any oiliness under their eyes or has had the experience before that they get those dark rings or you get the transfer, I recommend not putting mascara on the bottom lashes. That can just be helpful. And also, I mean, I think there's different trends at different times. It could be changing, but I think really the 70s of the black and white thick and the very thick mascara down below, you know, that was an old trend, but it may be trending. I did watch a really cool YouTube video for a natural makeup the other day, and the makeup artist was putting mascara on the bottom, so I was rethinking. But I think it's nicer for natural, not to have it. Yeah. So that is the finished eyeshadow look, and I think that's looking just nice and natural. Just 2 steps with the eyeshadow. We've done the rich brown pencil, and then we've blended that with the eyeshadow. So I think that's nice and simple. And we're going to move on now to bronzer. So I wanted to do a demonstration with bronzer, and I actually like to use a brush that's a little bit like this. So it's nice and rounded, and it's quite fluffy for bronzer. So although it is the middle of winter in New Zealand, if you're feeling like you need a little bit of a lift, feeling a little bit pale, bronzer is a great product to use for that. So, and this one's got a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's quite a nice finish. And I'm just going to do one side of Rosie's face, and then we'll just see if we can see the difference. Okay, so I'm going to start in terms of where you put bronzer. If you remember this one tip that might just help stick in your mind, think about where the sun hits your face. So where you naturally, your face gets a little bit more tanned or a little bit more coloration in the summer, that's where I want you to put the bronzer. So just think about it that way. So if you can just, yep, that's perfect. So we're going to start, and I'll do both sides so you can see. Just going to start sort of under, come around this side and see if you can see it better on this side. It's just sort of below the cheekbone. So we're just going to gently add, but I'm also going to apply on Rosie's temples, and she is going to have a bit of fringe there, but this is just where the sun would naturally hit her face, across the forehead, both sides, just gently, and even a little bit on the nose and the chin. And we're just going to do a little bit of contouring by just taking this under the chin and down the neck. So just follow that through, and then I'll just move out the way and see if we can see that. Can you move your face just to the side that way? Oh no, yes, yeah. So you can see it there. I feel like these lights are making it a bit harder to stand out, but you can see where the bronzer is just naturally warming Rosie's face. So that's kind of what we want to go for. A little bit on the nose, and I'm going to even you up on the other side now. So again, forehead, temples, below the cheekbone, and this brush is quite big, so we're going to get quite good coverage with that. And then below the chin, down the neck. Sorry, I'm getting your hair in there. Again, just a little bit on the nose, a little bit on the chin, and we are going to go on with blusher too. So this is just quite soft, what we're trying to achieve here, But what we're wanting to is just lift the face and just get a little bit more glow, a little bit more warmth through the skin. And I think that's looking really nice. So we'll leave it there. So that is bronzer. And then blusher. So we've got a really nice palette here of Clinique blushes, which I think you can get individually now. This one here in the middle is a gorgeous colour, and it's actually quite similar to the lip tint that we're going to use shortly. So I haven't used this product before, and I just want to recommend to you, if you are using any new eyeshadow or any new blusher, it's really important to put it on the brush or put it on the applicator and don't go straight onto your face. So the reason for that is some powdered products have a really strong pigment and some don't. So it's just really hard to know without trying. So I do recommend that you first touch your hand, give it a light dusting, and just see how much pigment is getting picked up easily. I have found in the past with blusher, if you go too heavy-handed on the blusher, it is quite hard to get it to dull it down. Have you had that experience, Rosie?
Yeah, one product at the moment.
Yeah, it's really easy to go to put too much on, and then it can be quite hard to get that back. So there are things you can do though without removing your whole makeup, which I would, we can talk about that shortly. So this doesn't look like the pigment's too strong, but it's got a really nice soft glow to it. So I'm going to go a little bit more on my brush. And in terms of application for blusher, so this is something I found when I was training as a makeup artist a long time ago. It was one of the hardest things to get right. I don't know if you had that experience, and also it changes with time, so it changes with trends as well. But a really good classic way to think about applying your blusher is the apples. We want to highlight our best assets. We want to highlight the apples of our cheeks. So can you smile for me? Nice big smile. So these are the apples of Rosie's cheeks, lovely apples that she has. And what I want to do is just to gently highlight the apples of Rosie's cheeks. And we want to go sort of at the bottom half. If we think about the apple, we want to highlight the bottom half of the apple. And then we want to blend up. Now, I used to work with a Japanese makeup artist, and he taught me a tip that I've always remembered. And he said, think about it like a Nike tick. So if you think about a Nike tip when we're highlighting the apple, so we go down, and we think about having a thicker part, and then we swipe up. So I just find that quite a good thing to help me to remember. That looks like a really nice color. So I'm going to go in on the other side. Can I get you to twist that way for me? Thank you. And nice big cheesy grin for me again. So highlighting the bottom half of the apple. And then Nike tick. So we're just going to slightly blend up. So with blusher, we just don't want to go too close into, can you go forward again, Rosie? Thank you so much. It's like music chairs today. We don't want to go too close into the nose, or we don't want to go too close up to the eye. And the reason is that can look like high color as opposed to a nice soft glow. So we want to look like we've been for a brisk walk and we've got that fresh, healthy glow. And bronzer and blusher can really help the skin to have that look, that really nice, fresh look. So now that we've applied those, what I want to do, and this is something you can do if you ever do go too heavy-handed on the blusher, and also thinking again about that tip of not wanting to see the start or the finish of the makeup. So what I want to do now, this brush is clean. It's a nice, fluffy, angled brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend in circular motions and buff into Rosie's skin. So I'm sort of blending, and this is like an extra gold star thing. You don't have to do this, but this is what's going to give your makeup that seamless look. That's kind of what we're after. When we're thinking natural, we want seamless. No starts, no finishes. So I think that's looking nice. So if you were going out at night, you might want to accentuate the eyes a little bit more by putting a little bit more definition under the eyes. For this is our natural makeup look. You might want to go a little bit more heavy-handed on the blusher. That could be another way to do it. You could put some eyeliner in the waterline. Is that something that you do, Rosie? Have you done a bit of? No. but it can really finish the look and enhance the look. So you could use a dark brown or a black eyeliner in the waterline for more of an evening look. But I think that in terms of face, it's looking really lovely. So lastly, here this is like a lip stain. So lip stains are really trending at the moment, and you know, the tradition of using lip liner all the time has faded a little bit with age. There is still, you know, great use for lip liner, but today we're not going to use lip liner. We're just going straight in for a vinyl lip stain. And I've got a lip brush here. So I'm going to put this on my hand and then I'm going to brush it on. It smells good. Like vanilla or something, I think. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm going to go 8-hour cream first just to give us a nice dewy start. Where did that go? Did it go here? Or did we? No, that's okay. I thought we had a lip balm there, but we don't. So I would recommend putting on a lip balm. It can be quite good to do it with the Beauty Flash balm at the start. We do that in our Look Good Feel Better classes. We use a lip balm, but in this case, I'm going to go straight in with the lip vinyl. Oh, that colour's so nice. And this one does have a bit of staying power as well. You can smell it. It smells like marshmallows or something, doesn't it? Cool. Okay. And then just finish off the top. It's actually a really nice colour. Can you just press together a little? Yeah, lovely. So this product looks somewhere between a lip gloss and a lip liner. So it's got a nice sheen to it. It's not a, it's quite a neutral tone. I'll tell you what the colour is. So this is 100 Charmed. And yeah, that looks like a really nice, how does it feel?
It's good.
Yeah, it looks quite hydrating as well. But that's something that should last quite well. Okay, so I'm just going to take off your hair, lovely hair clips, and we'll let your hair be free. Do you want to just give your hair a bit of a shake out how you would? That looks awesome. So we'll just do a little bit of a close-up and have a look at Rosie's face and just a recap. So we started with the Beauty Flash Balm just to give us a really nice base, and then went on to a nice dewy and natural MAC foundation. We then went on with the lovely eyeshadow, the Shiseido eyebrow pencil, and then the powder, which was a fun new product, the Brow Ink Trio, and then tried with the brow wax. So they have set quite well now, and that's just good if you wanted that lamination technique. And then we've gone in with the rich chocolate, sort of thick eyeliner stick, and just blended that with some eyeshadow. So just a two-step natural makeup look for the eyeshadow. In with that lovely Maybelline mascara, and then the bronzer all over the face. Just with the bronzer, remembering we're going to put bronzer where the sun would naturally hit the face. So just keep that in mind when you're applying bronzer. And then the blusher on the apples of the cheeks. And then finish that with a lip stain. So I hope you've learned something today. Hope that's been helpful. And keep in touch with Look Good Feel Better through our Facebook page, also through our Instagram and online if you're wanting to book into any future classes. Thank you so much to farmers and the participating brands for this Feel Better month. And I hope you all have a great Friday.